Coming up on the very first Theme Park Newsroom in 2 years on the channel, we're going to be talking about the closure of one of CBeebies Land's most beloved family attractions at Alton Towers Resort. We'll be sharing the latest construction updates for a brand new family roller coaster this year at Plopsaland Deutschland, formerly known as Holiday Park. And we're going to talk about a brand new attraction opening next year at the Pleasure Beach Resort in Blackpool. It's Tuesday the 3rd of June 2025 and welcome to the very first edition of Theme Park Newsroom here on the reimagined Coaster Chall channel. Hello there ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages. I am the Chall, Doncaster born but built for Theme Park News, and welcome finally back to the channel after what, 2 years on this channel, nearly 3 years in terms of new videos and uploads. We obviously uploaded the Pleasure Beach compilation, we uploaded that already, and that was kind of like a taster for what we're going to do back on this channel. But yes, we are back with the latest Theme Park news weekly, and this is going to be a very exciting sort of rest of this season going into next season and then on as well. We've got so many wonderful things to look forward to. We've got Universal Studios Great Britain, we've got the exciting future of Paulton's Park, the future of parks such as Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Chessington. Over in Europe, you've got Europa Park. What are they going to do next? Disneyland Paris, the future long-term for the Walt Disney Studios Park as they transition into this kind of new era for that particular park, and obviously in the Disneyland Park as well. Over in America, the Six Flags Cedar Fair partnership, what does that entail? Some of the new attractions come into parks like Carowinds and Six Flags Over Texas next year in 2026. You know, it's going to be a very exciting and a very interesting and sort of unrivaled mystery kind of few years coming up for the theme park industry. And we're going to be here to cover all of it. We're going to be here to cover as much of it as we physically can for as long as we can. So strap in, buckle up, enjoy the ride, and let's get straight into your theme park news. We're going to start off with going to Alton Towers, and we're going to start off talking about Postman Pat's Parcel Post, which is now closed as an attraction. So let's give you all the details as we know so far. They've already announced the ride would close on June the 3rd. Of course, that is what it is today. And for me personally, obviously this is a very sad closure. We knew this was coming anyway. We knew it was closing today. Now also the Get Set Go Treat Up Adventure is closed for modifications and it will reopen in July with a revised layout which will accommodate the replacement. Now before we get into talking about the replacement ride, before we get started talking about, you know, what's going to come into the area and how CBeebies Land is going to look in 2026, we're going to talk a little bit about Postman Pat's Parcel Post, because some of you may know some of the things and information about this attraction. Some of you may not know everything about the attraction and its history. So of course this was situated in the plot of land which used to accommodate Old MacDonald's tractor ride in the old Old MacDonald's farmyard. That was a classic area at Alton Towers. I got to experience that a lot when I was a kid, and it was one of my early childhood memories from Alton Towers, the Old MacDonald's farmyard area, and Storybook Land as well. But of course, towards the back end of 2013, we knew it was closed, it was removed, and the area combined, and then became CBeebies Land for May 2014. Of course, built on the CBeebies television channel, broadcast by the BBC. It was all about interacting through play. We saw some wonderful attractions, Nina's Science Lab, In the Night Garden Magical Boat Ride, which still operates today, and of course Postman Pat's Parcel Post, which situated where the tractor ride once stood. Now of course a fun fact that you may or may not know about this attraction, but they actually ripped up the old tractor ride software and brought in a brand new software manufactured by Metal Bow Emmenin. Now, this ride offered young guests the opportunity to join Postman Pat and his trusty van on a special delivery mission through the village of Greendale, where they took control of the van, navigating through the village to deliver parcels to familiar residents. The ride featured interactive elements which allowed riders to press buttons on the dashboard to match the parcels with the correct recipients and control the van's lights and horn, enhancing the immersiveness of the experience. And of course, as we know, Tuesday, June the 3rd, 2025, the ride is shut. And the Get Set Go will be closed for a month as well to allow modifications to the circuit of the attraction. Of course, Get Set Go used to be known as Squirrel Nutty in the days of the Old McDonald's Farmyard and Storybook Land. Of course, do you remember the bookworm, the iconic Alton Towers bookworm? I loved the bookworm as a kid. Obviously, that's gone already, replaced by parts of Justin's something special sensory garden. So that's where, if you're thinking where the bookworm used to be, that's kind of whereabouts it was. And like I said, Postman Pat was a really fun attraction, and it's going to be sorely missed at the Alton Towers Resort. It's a really classic ride, and it's got its place in the history books of Alton Towers, along with the Old McDonald Tractor Ride. Now, what's going to happen to the site? Some of you may know, some of you do not know. And the replacement ride has been codenamed Project Sunshine. Now, Project Sunshine is a family-friendly kids roller coaster. So let's give you a few tidbits of information that you may or may not know about this project already. This closure of Postman Pat's Parcel Post will be part of the introduction of Project Sunshine, which is a new junior coaster. Now, while the exact theme of the new attraction hasn't been confirmed yet, speculation has suggested it may be based on the popular children's show Bluey. We've seen Bluey pop up everywhere at the minute, meet and greets, stuff in the hotel rooms, so it's a high indication that Bluey could be the IP they use as part of the CBB's licensing and branding for this new attraction. Now, the planning application was submitted back in December last year, 2024, for this coaster, and it represents Alton Towers' commitment to providing engaging and age-appropriate attractions for its younger guests. Now, as the project progresses, more details are expected to be released in due course, offering further insights into this new edition. And of course, we will bring more details when they've been confirmed. So, if you're thinking junior coasters, look at what Octonauts is, Octonauts Roller Coaster Adventure, next to Spinball Whizzer, around one of the ends of CBBS Land behind the Big Fun Showtime Arena. You've also got other junior coasters around the UK, like Farmyard Flyer at Paulton's Park. Again, we don't know officially who the manufacturer of this coaster will be yet. Obviously, we can make our suggestions and our predictions. People like Vekoma, people like Intamin, people like Zamperla will absolutely be on the cards for potential options. Ziera, again, could be an option. We don't know for certain what the option will be and what they've chosen the resort, but of course we'll keep our eyes peeled for more information and we'll deliver them on future episodes of Theme Park Newsroom. Now, Project Sunshine, of course, you know, it's just the tip of the iceberg. We know that there's some interesting question marks in the works in terms of future projects at Alton Towers. The Sky Ride's back open. We've got Project Horizon to keep our eyes peeled for in terms of extra information. We know that's going to happen at some point, but we just don't know when yet. Obviously, the Alton Towers Dungeon may have some question marks around the site of the old attraction. Of course, that used to be Chall Chocolate Factory, Toyland Tours, Around the World in 80 Days back in the day. You've also got the World of Dave Williams. How long does the IP last on that particular area? Obviously, Forbidden Valley's had its kind of makeover with Nemesis Reborn and Toxicator this year. Of course, I can't wait to get out there before the school holidays and try Toxicator for the first time because I didn't manage to get out there on opening day. Now, of course, you're thinking, what's the next area that's going to get changed for Alton Towers? Is it going to be X Sector? Is it going to be something else? We're going to keep our eyes peeled on the future of Alton Towers Resort because I think there's a lot more question marks than there is answers at the moment, and that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, but I think that Alton Towers, it's going to be interesting to see what direction they go in. So, obviously, I know Bianca's come out in the past and looked for a more storytelling direction. I'd like to see that continue because we've seen that with Forbidden Valley. We've seen that with Nemesis Reborn. We've seen that with Toxicator. The story element coming in and tied back in. I think the theming on Toxicator looks fantastic. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. Now then, let's get into our next story, and this is from the formerly known holiday park in Germany. Now, this is now known as Plopsaland Deutschland, and this is on the latest construction of their family-friendly roller coaster, which is opening this year, apparently. Now, in terms of what we know about this coaster so far, we'll put some of the construction images from Holly's fan page on your screen. Shout out to Holly's fan page for the construction pictures. This is going to be a new family roller coaster themed around the animated series 100% Wolf. And this attraction is part of an €80 million investment aimed at enhancing the park's offerings and expanding the offerings for families and young visitors. Now, the park's journey began in 1971, and since then, of course, since it was renamed to Holiday Park in 1973, it's been home to so many attractions, and this is no different. So the new coaster will be a centerpiece of the themed area dedicated to the 100% Wolf story, which follows Freddy, a boy who transforms into a poodle instead of a werewolf, and this area will feature immersive storytelling and design elements that brings Freddy's adventure to life. Now, the ride itself is apparently going to be a shuttle coaster, which extends over the park's lake, includes a spike element, which allows the train to ascend a dead-end track before reversing direction, and a backward journey through the entire course back into the station. And the coaster aims to apparently bridge the gap between the park's indoor children's coaster and the more intense thrill rides, providing an intermediate experience for guests. As you can see on the construction pictures, the track is nearing completion, and we're hearing that the final section of switch track is awaiting installation, and one of the only installations of track left to bring into the site. Now, also on top of that, the steel framework for the coaster's signature wolf-shaped rock structure has been erected, marking a significant milestone in this ride's development. Now, I think this is going to be a wonderful addition for families and for everyone involved. I think that Holiday Park is really producing something good here, and I think that, you know, the park has produced some wonderful rides already, and you see some of the big coasters, etc. And for me, I think this could be potentially next level. I think I'm going to really look at enjoying this particular ride. I think that the switch track element makes it all worthwhile as well, adds something different, something unique, and I'm looking forward to how all the theming is going to kind of tie back into the story. I would say that this particular attraction is one to watch. I think that how it's going to all tie back in to the story, I think it's going to be very interesting to watch and keep an eye on. And as you can see already with the track installations, I think some of the way it's been handled and the way it all looks landscaping wise and how it could all look when it's all finished up and tidied up around the construction site, I think it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Now, I'm looking forward to see when this attraction opens, hopefully later in the year, and I'm going to keep very, very close eyes on this particular project. Now then, let's get into our final piece of news, and this is from the Pleasure Beach Resort over in Blackpool. Of course, we were there on the opening day back in start of March, and wow, I mean, this just looks incredible already. We know this is going to be incredible already. It's a brand new attraction coming to the park next year. We know they've already opened their new attraction this year, Launchpad, the reimagining of the classic Ice Splash Shot Tower, the Shot Tower attraction. Now they're introducing a new thrill ride next year, and it will be on the site of the Bowlerdrome, which has already been demolished pretty much, and that is Evictus, the brand new Intamin gyro swing. Now let's give you some details then that you may or may not know. This is set to be an £8.72 million investment and poised to be potentially the tallest of its kind in the UK. The new ride is being constructed on the former Bowlerdrome arcade site situated near the River Caves attraction. Of course, that's having a reimagining of its own. With a height of 42 metres, reportedly, this ride will surpass existing UK pendulum rides such as Drayton Manor's Maelstrom, which stands at approximately 74 feet. The ride also has a swing angle of 120 degrees, a capacity of 40 riders per cycle pretty much, and guests will sit facing outwards with legs dangling, experiencing moments of weightlessness at the peak of each swing. So, Pleasure Beach Resort has a lot of exciting future projects coming up. We've got the removal of the Bowlerdrome arcade, we've got the reimagining of River Caves, you've got the removal and replacement of Grand Prix. That's very much a long-term project in terms of big thrill investments, because you can guarantee that the replacement for Grand Prix long-term will be a new roller coaster. But for now, at least, from what I saw from recent vlogs, etc., they're installing like a brand new path where the water feature is, with markings looking like markings for a new pathway, just kind of tidy that area up a bit. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. And I think, to be fair, in terms of my potential theory, I think that could just be the start of getting the area ready for roller coaster technology. I think that you put a pathway near that water feature, you've got space then to put potential footers for a coaster in between the pathway, so you're literally walking underneath part of the new roller coaster. So I think that Pleasure Beach will install a new coaster, I'd say within the next few years minimum, but we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one. But the main new project, of course, not just the reimagining of River Caves, Grand National's back open in the next month, We're going to see this brand new thrill ride next year, Evictus, this brand new gyro swing, which is coming to the park opposite the river caves. And I think there's going to be a reimagining of that area pretty much. And you think about where it is. It's the Bowlerdrome arcade. It's not too far away from Icon. And it's kind of sporting a similar branding scheme almost, with the Evictus name, with the silverback cobra, and the kind of Icon style advertising that we're kind of seeing already with this. I think this is going to be a wonderful attraction. I think Blackpool Pleasure Beach Resort are onto an absolute winner with this one already. I think the style of this is going to be brilliant. I think the whole thematic side of it and the cinematic atmosphere they're going to try and bring with this attraction could be spot on if they do it the right way. And I've got every confidence that Pleasure Beach Resort will do this the right way. And I think that this particular new attraction is going to really excite guests. I think it's going to be a perfect thrill ride. I think Pleasure Beach Resort was one of the only big parks in the UK that, for me, was lacking a gyro swing. I think that was the next kind of major thrill ride that we're going to look for. And they're delivering. They're absolutely delivering. And if it's a similar kind of feel to Icon in terms of landscape, theming, atmosphere, cinematic, engagement, I think we're on to an absolute winner and potentially one of the best flat rides in this country, possibly one of the best in Europe if they do this correctly, and I've got no doubt they're going to do this correctly. So Evictus coming next year in 2026, and I for one am really excited. Now that is going to be it for this first edition back of Theme Park Newsroom. We'll deliver these as much as we can, get a collection of 3 or 4 stories per episode and deliver them to you as quick as we possibly can. Thank you all very, very much. Make sure you do hit the like button if you're new around here, subscribe if you're new around here, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video here on the revamped and reimagined Coaster Chall channel. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, keep living the coaster life, and I'll see you guys in the next episode very, very soon. Well, take care. We'll see you guys for more future videos from the parks as well. We're hopefully down at Alton Towers in the next month, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that one. I'll see you all in the next episode very, very soon. Take care and have a thrilling-tastic day.